So many of you know me. My name is Bill Ridgway. I am very good friends with Tracy. We're very close friends, and I knew her prior to her starting her coaching practice. But I was at her house having dinner, and it was right in the throes of COVID, and I was struggling with a lot of things in my life at the time, and I was struggling with keeping my schedule intact. I was struggling with anxiety and stress. I was struggling with a poor diet, and also keeping, I guess the best way to put it is keeping everything organized. I move at a very, very fast pace, and I'm always busy. And it got to the point where I was trying to be a jack of all trades and end up being a master of none. So I was really struggling to stay focused on the important things in life, which are diet, exercise, sleep, water, and just setting goals and having some accountability for those goals. And Tracy and I started about maybe a year and a half ago. I was with her for 40 weeks. And since that time, I feel like a totally different person. I've lost 25 pounds. My stress and anxiety is significantly lower. And finally, I've learned to give myself some grace. I am a perfectionist, and when things get a little off kilter for me, it throws me for a loop. I like everything to be in its proper place and things done at their proper time. And I have a tendency to obsess if I don't get things done that I need to get done. And it just fed on itself to the point where I had my hands in too many things and wasn't giving 100% to each of those things in life. And so I kind of just threw up my hands and, lost all discipline and gained a bunch of weight, and really was, struggling with the COVID and the politics and everything that was going on. And Tracy stepped in and was a very, very valuable resource to me. And I can't thank her enough for helping me get to where I am today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to my good friend and life coach, Tracy Hess. Thank you, Tracy, for joining us today. Good to see you.
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for just allowing me to be here with you today. As Bill said, my name is Tracy Hess, and I am the owner of Dominion Wellness Coaching. And I'm really excited to be here and just very grateful for the opportunity. Today, I'm going to talk about stress in the negative sense of stress, what it is, the effects it has on your body and on your health. And I'm also going to share 8 very effective strategies for handling stress. Now, for those of you that have never heard of a health or a life coach, I specialize in habit and behavior change in a nutshell. So health coaching is a client-centered, goal-driven relationship, which means that as the client comes to me, they have their own ideas of what they want to accomplish. And I partner with them and set up action steps, and we work through a lot of roadblocks and mindset issues so that they can achieve those goals. So health coaching creates deep, sustainable, significant change and lasting results. It's not a quick fix problem solver. So as the expert of your own body, your mind, and your circumstances, I help you tap into your own inner motivation and create individualized programs that work for your unique body and lifestyle. So I have a not only in health and nutrition, but as you can read from my bio as a physical therapist, there is some medical knowledge, not that I'm a doctor, but so I bring a broad wealth of knowledge.
Excuse me, Tracy. Can everybody mute their lines during this presentation?
Okay. I hope it's all right to continue. Like I said, I bring a deep bag of tricks, I should say. And some of the concerns that I can help clients with, like Bill mentioned, stress, anxiety, but also things like weight loss and diabetes management and heart disease. Health coaching is particularly helpful at bridging that gap between the medical recommendations and the behavior necessary to follow through on those recommendations. So when you become a client of this work, we will partner together to identify the challenges and the blind spots that are preventing you from being the healthiest version of yourself. We work on mindset and self-limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck, and we develop specific strategies and action steps so you are empowered to move forward and be a better version of yourself. So, like Bill mentioned, I kind of ended up as a health coach sort of by accident, but not really. I don't believe in coincidences. So, but in large part, I became a health coach because of stress. Now, stress just rolls off my back and not much bothers me or gets me upset. But that has not always been the case. As a physical therapist specializing in home health for over 20 years, I loved my job. For as long as I can remember, I've always been very passionate about helping people. And I turned that passion into my career as a therapist. And I've been extremely blessed to be able to help countless people recover from surgeries, from traumatic injuries, from other health crises. And I loved the intimacy of working one-on-one with my patients. However, the stress of ridiculous amounts of paperwork in order to comply with all of the government regulations and the insurance companies' guidelines and more demands from my employers to just see more people in less amount of time. And it just really became quite overwhelming. And as I was approaching burnout in my career, I was also the single parent of 3 teenagers. So needless to say, I had a little stress. And that stress really started to take its toll on me. I wasn't sleeping as well as I used to. My stomach was frequently upset. I just mentally, I wasn't as sharp as I used to be. I was always tired. I was cranky. And when I was working, I felt guilty about not spending time with my kids. And when I was with my kids, I was concerned and worried about getting all of this paperwork done and always having stuff to do. And I needed to generate enough income to support us. So this went on for a while. I, had gained 20 pounds and I was a mess. I was honestly a mess. And I kind of found the solution by accident. I really thought that health coaching would be a an avenue for me to learn more in order to help my patients, and that would somehow decrease my stress. So I was going to learn about nutrition, and I was going to learn better strategies for helping my patients with compliance, because that's always an issue in the medical arena. Um, and what I found out is that I actually benefited from the work. Within a couple of months, I had lost that 20 pounds. And now I'm down to the same weight I was 25 years ago when I was before I had kids. I'm sleeping better. My stomach is stable. Mentally, I'm sharper, I think, than I've been in years. And I just generally feel better about me, which is a whole other story. So after this kind of transformation in myself, I turned the steps that I took into a system that I call the Complete Wellness Program, so that I could teach others how to listen to their unique, innate body wisdom and get off that hamster wheel of stress, without having to give up anything. So it is my goal today to help you as well, to connect the dots, um, and show you exactly how you can do this too. No matter how long ago you may have given up, or how far gone you feel like you are, it is my hope to really kind of give you a different perspective of what life can be like. So you are absolutely in the right place. If you have ever struggled with feelings of overwhelm or anxiety, or feeling like you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, um, you're also in the right place if you're done reinventing the wheel and you just want somebody to tell you exactly what to do and how to do it. So I'm going to teach you as much as I can in the limited time that we have. And I promise before we finish, I'll show you how to take this further if you want to. So without much more, let's just dive in. So what is stress? And stress, for the purpose of this discussion, is generally considered as being synonymous with distress. And the dictionary defines that as the physical, mental, or emotional strain or tension, or a condition or feeling experienced when a person perceives that demands exceed the personal and social resources the individual is able to mobilize. In a nutshell, I think that pretty much sums up those feelings of overwhelm. Like you just don't have enough time, energy, money, motivation, whatever those resources are. You just feel like you don't have enough to deal with the demand. And that creates a mental and emotional reaction in us that is known as the fight or flight response. Because it truly activates that portion of our nervous system that's responsible for the survival mechanism. So in evolutionary terms, this is the survival mechanism that enabled people or animals to react quickly to life-threatening situations. So think about being chased by a bear. The near instantaneous sequence of hormonal changes and physiological changes, making the heart pound faster, increasing the oxygen uptake, shifting the blood flow from our internal digestive organs out to the muscles so that we can respond quickly. Those are all necessary responses to fight off a threat or to flee to safety if you have to run away. Unfortunately, the body can also overreact and produce this same type of response to stressors that are not life-threatening. Think about, white knuckling it in traffic on Hull Street, or, work pressures, worry, family difficulties can all produce that same physiological response. And over the years, researchers have gained tremendous insight into the effects that long-term chronic stress has on our health. And that over time, that repeated activation of the stress response really starts to take its toll on the body. So you should have an email, a couple of handouts that we're going to look at. And the first one is going to be the effects of stress on the body. So do I need to share my screen with that, or do you guys have?
You're going to have to share the screen.
Okay, let me pull that up, and then let me come back over here. I don't see it. Let me see. Okay, there it is. Let me try that again. Close that one down. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, there we go. Can everyone see that? You can, I guess, shake your heads since everyone is muted. I'm going to blow this up. If you'll bear with me, I'm going to blow up this font so that, or I'm going to try to. Okay. All right, can everyone see this now? Okay. So the primary effect of stress on the body is this increase in cortisol production. Cortisol is an essential hormone that is responsible for a number of reactions in the body. And almost every cell in the body has receptors for cortisol. So the cells in your brain, in your heart, in your blood vessels, in your digestive tract, all have receptors for cortisol. The problem is that when there is too much cortisol, it leads to an imbalance. So a lot of weight gain, especially in the midsection, the inability to lose weight, and combine that with the inability to gain muscle. And it leads to premature aging. And we'll talk a lot about how this happens. So cortisol basically is responsible for most, if not all, of the effects on this sheet that we're going to talk about. So it increases the urinary excretion of calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, chromium, all of these trace minerals. What is calcium effective at? Building strong bones. So high stress, high cortisol levels leads to negative effects on bone health. It also increases the retention of sodium, which draws more fluid into the vascular system. So this leads to high blood pressure. It increases the LDL cholesterol levels, which is the bad cholesterol. It also increases blood platelet aggregation, which is a huge risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Those platelets start to get sticky, and that's where those clots are formed. It increases inflammation, which we now know inflammation is a leading cause of many, many diseases. It can increase gastric emptying time, which leads to diarrhea and food particles getting into the small intestine. It's linked to increased food sensitivities and all kinds of digestive conditions. Increase in insulin resistance. This is where that weight gain, particularly around the middle, comes from, is that it causes the cells to be unresponsive to insulin. So the pancreas has to kick out more and more insulin in order to keep our blood sugars controlled. So that takes its toll and can lead to diabetes. Definitely weight gain comes into play. The inability to lose weight when you're insulin resistant, your ability to lose weight goes way down. It just wreaks havoc. Your lower esophageal sphincter is the sphincter at the base of your esophagus, right where it connects to your stomach. And when that sphincter starts to spasm or it gets erratic, that's where heartburn, reflux, GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, that is where that comes into play. And it also leads to premature aging with this oxidative stress. So you hear about foods that are high in antioxidants. The oxidants, the oxidative stress is what causes premature aging, cell damage, and can lead to cancers. So cortisol is not our friend when it's in too high of quantity. Like we talked about, the increased risk of osteoporosis and the bone density is decreased because of that, the changes in how calcium is absorbed and excreted. Now, there's also decreases. Your nutrients in your stomach and small intestine are not absorbed as well. There's decreased blood flow to the digestive tract as a whole. So it just doesn't work as well. The gut flora, so those healthy bacteria in your gut are decreased. It can lead to all kinds of nutrient deficiencies, immune problems. This is where the probiotics really come in and can help in this area, is to reestablish that gut flora. You also have the decreased ability to burn calories. So even if you're motivated to go to the gym, you have to do more to burn the same amount of fat and calories when there are high cortisol levels floating around. Your metabolic engine just slows down. It also affects your thyroid hormones and your sex hormones, which nobody wants that, right? Not only are your sex hormones important for sex drive, but they're also important for your energy levels and for maintaining muscle mass, especially as we age. Now, it can also have a decrease in your gastric emptying time, which means food just kind of sits in your belly a little bit longer, can lead to constipation and risks for, let me admit Colette. So lots and lots of negative effects from cortisol. decreased acid production in the stomach. So again, your body is having to work harder to decrease, to break food down, to absorb the nutrients.
Well, let me
It's
come offline.